We're talking about the Akitika Power Amplifier Kit, and this review is going to be the most complimentary while simultaneously being the most critical review I've ever done. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and let's talk about the Akitika Amplifier Kit. Today's sponsor is Sith Audio's audio measuring devices. We all know how important it is that your speakers, amplifiers, DACs all measure perfectly. We all strive to have better and better measurements. That's why you can do it at home now with Sith Audio's audiophile measurement devices. Available in a variety of colors. Comes in at $1,099. About $2,000, a short $2,000. Sith Audio. Audiophile measurement devices. The Akitika Amplifier Kit. So many of my patrons or folks that participated in my live streams had brought up Akitika as a company. At the time I was doing a lot of speaker kits, and I'd always wanted to dip my toe into assembling my own amplifier. It's always fascinated me. So I believe I reached out to Akitika. We talked a little bit back and forth. Dan over at Akitika is awesome. He's always been very helpful, and he was more than happy to send out a kit. But let's pause this for a moment. I'm going to talk about how the amplifier sounds and how it performs. And then I'll get into the other things that I want to talk about. Number one, the amplifier is built wonderfully. It is solid. The topology, if you pop open the hood, I'll show you pictures, looks like amplifiers from the 80s and the 70s, really before anything digital started elbowing its way into our amplifiers. Big power supply, great components, big filter caps. Everything is discrete, which means separate, which means if you have to repair anything or replace anything, you can just replace the boards. Or if you're really skilled, you can just replace the individual capacitors or resistors or transistors or whatever it is. It's modular. So even if something goes wrong with this amplifier, you can just rebuild that specific board or replace the parts. I'm not saying that anything's going to go wrong, because quite frankly, this thing is built so well, nothing probably is going to go wrong. Great parts, simple topology, easy to repair, built like a tank. It's awesome. Simple operation. On the front, there is a single power button. Yeah, click it on. There's also an optional volume knob. So if you just want to get the power amp, but yet you want to be able to control the volume, you can do that. I bought one. They never sent it back to me though, because I had to send this amplifier kit back to them. Let's talk about sound. Sound is wonderful, clean. The bass is controlled yet full. The top end is completely detailed. Soundstage is in line with other amplifiers, even more expensive than this. So detailed, great control of the bass. Mid-range is a bit stepped back, but everything still sounds open. So if I had to say, there's a bit of a U shape to this amplifier, which personally is my preference. I don't really like a super forward amplifier. Good soundstage, good imaging, good sense of air, sounds great. Detail, control on the bass. It's awesome. It sounds awesome. So why am I going to be critical? Well, it has nothing to do with the amplifier itself. It has nothing to do with how the amplifier sounds. It has everything to do with the confusion of putting this amplifier together. I'm going to say straight away, unless one is very confident in their skills to solder small parts together, I wouldn't try to put this together. I'm not saying that I'm an electronics technician, but I know how to solder stuff together. Something that I like to do before I go to bed is work on little projects like this. It's very relaxing for me. I really enjoy the process. But I did make a few mistakes on the power supply, and that's okay. I kind of could fix them. But if you're going to do this, you probably want to have a very good soldering iron. You also are going to want to have maybe one of those desolder things like that, because parts are little. I'd recommend wearing glasses or busting out a magnifying glass so that you can tell, because each resistor has different little color stripes on there, okay? I'm not complaining about that. I'm not complaining about that at all. What I am going to complain about are the instruction manuals. There are two versions of this amp. You have the Z4, and you can tell it's a Z4 because there's a sticker on it made out of paper that's printed off a computer and slapped on the front. That's how you can tell you have the Z4 model. And the Z4 model is for 4 ohm speakers, which makes sense. 4 ohm speaker. The other model is for 8 ohm speakers. The 4 ohm amplifier can safely drive 4 ohm loads. It can also safely drive 8 ohm loads. So how about we just have one amplifier? The Z4 version. It's a little bit more expensive, but then you have one instruction manual, one set of parts. Why have 2 models? Because the Z4 can do everything that the non-Z4 one can do, but the non-Z4 can't do everything that the Z4 does. So why not have one amplifier? Heck, still have 2 amplifiers. Here's a confusing part. When you get the Z4 kit, it has all the parts of the non-Z4 kit. And then there's additional bag that has the different parts for the Z4 amplifier. Okay? It's great that they give you the different parts. What's not great is they give you the parts for the 8 ohm version just so that you have the opportunity to make a mistake. And the manuals look identical. And the manual didn't come with it. If you want a printed manual, you have to pay an extra $10. $10. Don't get me wrong, someone needs to make profit, and it takes time to print off a manual. But $10 to print a manual? I get it, download it, I'll print it over here. How about we have one manual? And if there is a point in the assembly process that may use different parts for the Z4 version or for the 8 ohm version, why don't we highlight that? Or put a whole bunch of asterisks by it. Warning, don't use the 8 ohm part, use the 4 ohm part. Better yet, how about you just don't include the parts in the Z4 version that you include in the 8 ohm version? And I know they're probably all pre-packaged up. It's probably really inconvenient for you to take those parts out that you don't need for the 4 ohm part because everything's already packaged up together. It's probably more inconvenient to actually finish up a power supply board that you've spent 3-4 hours putting together and realize that you have the wrong parts on there because you were using the wrong manual, because the manuals look identical. That was kind of inconvenient. So if you're going to put one of these together, make sure you have the right instruction manual because their part numbers are so unique. Actually, their part numbers don't make any sense. And this is going to, okay, so I'm going to close my computer, okay? This is a great product. It's priced wonderfully. It sounds great. It's built great. The website is nearly impossible to navigate. Anybody that is not so far deep and interested into amp kits, or even most audiophiles, are going to go through this website and get completely lost, get mad and leave. Anybody that's new to this hobby or wants to do this that isn't familiar with these things is going to get into the website and they're going to leave. There's a discontinued item that's still on the website. It's front and center. It's right there. How about you just take that off? How about you just rename the products? You have 2 amplifiers. You have an 8 ohm version and you have a 4 ohm version. And guess what they'll do too? They'll assemble it, and they'll assemble it at a very reasonable rate, which means if you're not skilled enough to put these amps together, they'll assemble it for you. They have a preamp, and this preamp is awesome looking. It has a remote control. This preamp looks very similar to like old school Macintosh preamps. It looks awesome, and I actually want to get one. But the website's so confusing. Pare it down. If you can say something in 10 words instead of 100, use 10. Clean it up. Organize it a little bit more. Make it easy for someone to buy your product because the product's awesome. I've seen this before, and I've seen it with another company, and obviously the websites here were designed by very intelligent people. Engineers, electronic engineers, people that are so passionate about their product. I would say hire somebody that's passionate about building a website, because if you're selling hundreds of these on the website, it says hundreds of satisfied customers. Why don't you get thousands of satisfied customers by simply improving your website, by making it easy to figure out what you're buying, have one instruction manual, and make the part numbers a little bit less confusing. I may be an idiot. I'm probably an idiot. Everybody else can probably take a look at this. But I did send this website to a buddy of mine who is also into audio. And he thought it needed a bit of work too. I'm not saying this because I want to be a jerk or be mean or be nasty to Akitika. This is a great product. This product needs to be in more people's hands and in more people's ears. It is fantastic. Not only is it fantastic, even if you pay to have it assembled, it's still going to be cheaper than other products on the market that have similar topologies. Significantly cheaper than those other companies. I'm not going to name those other companies. There's a few out there that still make amps like this. This is old school topology. This is great parts. This is great sound. This is great build quality. I want to see more of these out there. I want everybody to have the chance to hear these products. But if they can't figure out how to order it, they're not going to buy it. I love this product. I highly recommend this product. If you're going to put it together yourself, make sure you have the right manual. Make sure you find the parts that you don't need and get rid of them. Because wouldn't it be nice if we weren't given the opportunity to make a mistake? Might be a little bit easier. May not be as frustrating. I highly recommend this product. The kit is $300 something plus shipping. Again, why not just give us one price and say shipping included? I think it's hold on, let me check and see how much it is, if I can find it on the website. Okay, I found it. It only took me about 5 minutes to find exactly how much these things cost. Okay, so the 8-ohm version is $376 with shipping. I'm going to make it easy for everybody. $376 or $375 with shipping. The 4-ohm version, again, which can do everything the 8-ohm version can do, the 4-ohm version is $395 or $396. So if you want to save the $20, get the 8-ohm version, get the 8-ohm version. Listen, I've been in manufacturing. It's a lot easier not to inventory more parts that you don't need. Sell the Z4 version. It does everything that you need it to do. You got to upgrade your website. You got to. You could sell thousands of these. You could sell maybe you don't want to sell more of them. Maybe you're busy enough. Maybe you're happy with what you have. But I'm telling you, pay some kid $400 or $500. Make the website better. Have somebody go through, consolidate things. This is what the amp costs. This is what the amp costs assembled. One manual. I hope everybody that is remotely interested in this product buys it because it is fantastic. It is a huge value. Even buying it assembled is a huge value because it's only like $100 and something more to get it assembled. And let me tell you, that $100 is well spent because I have a bit of experience with soldering stuff together and I still wanted to throw this thing through the window. Again, I'm not trying to say this because I'm trying to be mean. I want more people to buy this. I want it to be easy. Go do a little bit of research and find out how quickly people will leave a website if they're confused or they can't find what they're looking for. I love the product. I think it's awesome. I think you better know what you're doing and have some patience if you're going to put this together. Or just take my word for it and get the right manuals. And make sure when you get those parts that you don't need, you throw them away. Because there's nothing like being given the opportunity to make a mistake and then have to spend more money on a power supply board. Anyway, if you want to support the channel, sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/cheapaudioman. Every Sunday night we have Patreon-only Zooms. We also have a Patreon-only Facebook group. You can also sign up for Amazon Music. There's a link in the description. You get a few months for free. You can always quit. If you sign up, though, I get a few dollars. You can also use any of the links in the description except for this link because it's not an affiliate link. But that doesn't matter. I still think you should consider buying an Akitika product because they sound good. But if you have any reservations, have them build it for you. With that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.